Hello and welcome to Chapter 292 of the DC Alliance podcast. With me, as always, is Joe. Joe, how you doing today?
Well, first off, I should probably give credit where credit is due. I mean, Josh 45667. Thanks for the art. I'm doing good.
Oh, nice.
Just like to. I mean, look, if
Gotta give those creators some
gotta get
spotlight.
hell yeah, we do. I mean, that's
AI be crazy these days,
yeah,
Joe.
they are, man. Um, but no, I'm doing good. Been a busy week. I mean, I'm. I will say, this week started my having a not working a full week of work until the end of January, which is great.
Nice.
Um, I mean, it's just one day off a week, but still, it's something. Um,
Enjoy it.
I'm gonna try. The problem is that um, the next couple of weeks is gonna be very hectic for me because I've got Stranger Things coming out next week. I've got last four episodes of 3 or 4 episodes of It Welcome to Derry. I've got Tomb Raider season 2 coming out. Like I've got
You
basically
got some
I'm
stuff.
marching I'm marching head on to a Walk Through the Multiverse episode 200 by like the middle of December.
Holy
So
moly.
also, and we got Fallout season 2 coming up in the middle of December. So like I'm good until like the end of January
That's what happens
actually.
when you don't specify.
Right?
You don't get into any niche categories. You're not very hard up the
Literally can
content.
cherry pick whatever I want.
Not what we're doing here today, of course.
Nope. But how are you doing, Travis?
I'm doing well, Joe. It's the weekend. I got to relax a little bit today, clean up, and ordered some Christmas gifts for people. So,
Ooh.
yeah,
Yeah, I did get on that.
while it took a hit there, but I got most of my shopping done. Just got to do it for my parents now, my brother, and then I'll be done. So, yay!
Yeah, I started doing that for a couple. I'd slow go. I slow roll into doing my Christmas gifts, but I've got a few already. I just need to get like the other two.
The worst thing is when you order here, you got to order like 3 weeks in advance to make sure it gets home here for
Right.
Christmas. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I had to do it a little bit earlier than I would like to normally when I picked it up in person, but these are different times with a 2-year-old. So,
Weird, right?
Joe, we're not here to talk. We're here to talk about animation, which makes me super giddy. I, of course, picked the topic tonight,
Yes, you did.
and I'm excited to see some of your DC anime wish list. I did a little switch there while we were talking of my
You put
lineup.
6 on there. You son of a
Well,
bitch.
one of them's honorable mention.
I know, but
Yeah.
that you added in there. That's fine.
So yeah, and I was more to make fun of what's going on now than anything else. But
Okay.
before we do all that, let me get the network plugs out of the way. So we are part of the Geek Ultimate Alliance with 6 shows in total. On Mondays, bi-weekly Ranger Alliance. On Tuesdays is the Walk Through the Multiverse. On Wednesdays is the Animation Nation. On Thursdays is Star Wars Alliance. On Fridays is Marvel Alliance. And on Saturdays is DC Alliance. Star Wars Alliance goes live on the Geekverse YouTube channel Wednesdays at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Marvel Alliance goes live Thursdays at 10 p.m. Eastern Time. And DC Alliance goes live Fridays at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. All three of those shows also have their own podcast feed. Search DC Alliance, Marvel Alliance, and Star Wars Alliance. It's just about DC content, Marvel content, or Star Wars content only. But you want all 6 shows on the GUA Podcast Network. Stay subscribed to the GUA on your podcast app of choice. We also have a Patreon, 2 tiers, $1 tier and a $5 tier. $1 tier is basically a tip jar, like we're doing. You want to help us out any way you can. $5 tier is where you get your ad-free episodes, early access to episodes, and Patreon exclusive episodes. Green Lantern 2011 review has been posted. Tuesday now it was up, so it's been up for a few days. That was a fun discussion, and I enjoyed the movie more than most. I think it did have some faults, but the giant fire cloud of being one, but
Well, can't give that up, can you?
there is a lot there that is actually pretty good, Joe. So please check that out. We also have the Marvel Alliance guys with 3 shows on the backlogs for the patrons. Tales from the House of X, talking about their favorite Fox Marvel films. Baxter Broadcast going over the Fantastic Four films and their Infinity Saga rewatch. We also have Joe's Multiverse Minutes. We're on the 1st and the 15th of every month. Joe does a Disney deep dive, not just reviewing Disney films, but giving you fun behind the scenes facts, tidbits, all that sort of thing. And up on the 1st of this month is A Nightmare Before Christmas. So
Yes,
be
sir.
sure to check that out, patrons. We thank everyone that's a patron, but if you're not a patron, take a quick 30, 60 seconds, rate and review the podcast on your podcast app of choice. It's always greatly appreciated. It helps other people find shows. That's always a good thing. Okay, Joe. not the making fun title of last week with the our exclusive article of Brainiac, and it wasn't even. It was a well, it got to be because of this and this. So I'm kind of glad we're taking. There is a story we got that's exclusive that I actually believe is exclusive from a good reporter that
Sure.
doesn't put those out all the time. But besides that, I just found it funny they took a lot of heat online. So we're here to talk about our DC animated wish list. So 5 or 6 in some people's cases, uh, animated properties that we would like to see from DC. And I was going to put a couple comic storylines, including Nightfall, on there, but Nightfall's being made right now.
Same, but yeah, I was going to do the same thing. But yeah, Nightfall is in the process of being made, so I
So
didn't add that.
I
On
left
there.
that one out, and then I said, you know what, I'm going to go a different way. And I'm curious to see yours and mine, Joe. So
I mean,
without
I
further
did throw it
ado,
on
I know. I
the
just looked
drive.
that time,
So.
but I did. I tried not to read, although I did see like some words. I was like, "No,
Oh,
look
dude, no,
away."
I read yours. I'm like, oh,
I
okay,
know.
cool.
I figured that. So, Joe, let's without further ado, let's have you kick it off here.
Yeah, so I'll start off with my honorable mention. Actually, is I don't know if this was your honorable mention, which I don't think it is, but it is the Zack Snyder's Justice League 2 and 3.
That was my honorable mention.
Is that your honorable? Okay,
Yeah.
because I know you had moved. You had that wasn't anyway.
Yeah.
Because as much as I would love for that to be made in live action, obviously that's not happening. But I would love for that story to be told. So either get told in an animated form or in a comic book form. Just get it told, get that story out there. Let the fans see the completed work. And the animated work could be, you could do so much with that. And I would love for that to happen, you know?
And Joe, that's mine too for my honorable mention because again, I would love to see it in animation. It's never going to happen in live action. Ben Affleck's 53 freaking years old.
Yeah.
Like he's not, and all he did in when he talked about this is complain about the suits. So I don't think he's going to want in the training. So I don't think he's just going to want to do it. Spoiler alert. So among others.
Now voice acting though, he can
voice
totally
acting,
do a voice
he can
acting.
totally do that. Well, he even showed up and did that scene with Martian Manhunter in the Snyder cut.
Yeah, but all he did is stand there.
Stand there, but again, I don't think he thinks that like voice acting would be that much different anyway.
No,
it's something that you definitely could do, and like you said, there's a lot more you could do in animation that you can do it so cool. So that would be my honorable mention as well. But I tried to steer clear of that for the actual list, Joe. So I got to ask you, what is your number 5?
Number 5 would be DC 1 Million. Specifically because, and I did a lot of storylines for mine, and I went to the comics specifically because I am more comic based. And as much as I wanted to do Batman Nightfall is what got me into comics. It is what I have wanted to see be made into a live action or animated or something for the longest time. So since Nightfall is being made, finally, I'm still reluctant about what they're going to do, but it's being made. So I didn't want to put that on the list. But DC 1 Million, it came out in, I want to say 2002 or something like that. 2001, 2002. And it takes place in the future. In the year 84 753 or something like that. Specifically, it was going to be when issue 1 million of Action Comics was going to be released. And it is basically the ancestors or the descendants of the heroes. I say descendants, it's really more the legacy of the heroes in the future, in the universe, because Earth has been dead and the legacy has moved on to all of the other planets in the Milky Way. They are coming back to the current year, whichever year it was, and again, I can't remember exact year, but they are honoring the Justice League and they're bringing them to the future to be like, hey, we are honoring Superman because of Superman Prime, and he was just an amazing person, and we want to do the special thing for him. In the process, Solaris comes about, and
Solaris, yeah.
Solaris, thank you, and kind of becomes a big problem. So, and we kind of saw somewhat of Solaris in Superman, sort of. The Sun
Did
Eater.
we see him in the Supergirl Legion?
Did we?
I think so. Maybe not. Maybe I'm
Maybe
thinking
we did. I don't
different
remember. It's
character.
been a while since I
It's
watched
been a
that one.
while. Yeah.
But no, just there was a bunch of great characters in that one. A bunch of different. I've always been a fan of Elseworlds, and so you're taking the normal character and changing them, tweaking them a little bit. So like Superman had a little bit of different powers. Batman was a completely different Batman. Like it was just it's always fun to me when you do that. So DC 1 million, I would love to see that kind of come into play. I know it's not gonna, but
That would be pretty interesting, though.
it'd be kind of fun to do.
And I switched up another one
I saw that.
because it just come to mind. I was thinking about that when I was talking about the actual topic. So my number 5 will be Smallville Returns. Rosenbaum and Willing have talked about this even with the creators, and they seem to be willing to just gotta get gone on board. And
I mean, I know that was something that they were talking about. That was it, like almost there.
they literally
a couple years
said
ago.
to Rosenbaum a couple Talkville episodes ago, like your body needs to green like that for us to do it. So yeah, I would love to see that. I would love to see Clark as actual Superman in animation. And hell, seems like they might even bring Chloe back at this point. Sorry, had to inside of you.
I
if
mean,
you
look,
haven't
it's
checked it out. I have.
nothing wrong with her owning up to what she did. I'm one
Sold
of those
Kristen Kirk right under the bus pretty quickly, didn't she?
well,
Yeah, she introduced me to these guys. Her fault. Yeah, it's just funny. But yeah, I would love to see it. I've really enjoyed the comics, the Smallville comics.
Yeah.
I think I have most of them. I might be missing one issue. So yeah, I would really love to see that.
Seth,
And we
I think
never
I
got
got
Batman
Shane,
in
too.
Smallville universe. It would have been pretty cool to even see it in animation.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, that would be my first one, Joe. What is your second, number 4?
Wonder Woman the contest.
Ooh,
So get a Wonder Woman animation because who knows when we'll see her in live action now.
good call.
And this one in particular, we already know who Wonder Woman is. We already know who Diana Themyscira is. This one, however, it's Wonder Woman losing the title. And so it's Diana losing the title. She's not Wonder Woman anymore. And Artemis becomes Wonder Woman for like 10 issues. And then she gets killed off. But, and then Diana gets the title back again. But yeah, so it basically is a contest to see who can become the envoy of Themyscira to man's world, and Diana loses it. And so that's when it takes place in like the 90s.
Oh,
time.
looked at the comic cover. That time, total 90s.
Yeah, early
Total
90s. When so Wonder Woman, this is when she has her like black outfit on, like it's so she's not repping any classic Wonder Woman outfit at all. So it's like a black bicycle.
So it's
outfit kind of thing.
definitely the early 90s. Yeah.
Oh yeah. But yeah, like this is just an interesting one. And I know Artemis gets killed off at the end, but she comes back. She's been back for a while. But yeah, that's just one. I mean, it's a different. This is also the same time when Superman was dead. So we had 4 Supermen. Bruce had his back broken. So Nightfall was happening. It's just literally the Trinity were not in their roles.
Not getting a good
Yeah.
break. Yeah.
Yeah. So like it's nice to see different things here.
And they made
Actually, it
that
was
Wonder
just
Woman
after, but-
in the New 52 universe, and that was terrible at the end just before Apocalypse War. So I mean, like the first Wonder Woman that I watched, I thought was really good, where she was buying ice cream and tried it for the first time. I think they
That was
put that
fun.
in the movie.
That
Like
was
I
fun.
enjoyed that animated film, but the other one
The
was
second
not
one,
good.
the second
No.
one had good potential, and the second half of that movie, I guess really the third act, just kind of like I don't know, fell on its face.
It didn't. It suffered from same thing as Black Widow. Like it didn't belong where it was to in their slate. Like it should have been
Right.
way earlier. Is kind of.
Right.
I think it would have suffered far less if it was way earlier. But again, that's old times. And my number 4, Joe, is the DC Multiverse Justice League.
Okay.
So I've created a couple shows, like just in my thoughts from some of the things. And this one would be one member from each of the DC animated shows. And different casts in different episodes. Like, don't have to be the same 5 or 6 members, especially if they're going to another Earth. They can work with the Earth. Like, you go to the Teen Titans Earth from the Teen Titans show and work with one of the Teen Titans. You could even have a member on the team. And it's just different groups every episode, and different animated shows, because you have it all under Warner's umbrella anyway. So
in my head, I'm thinking Drawn Together. You remember that show?
Yeah.
I'm thinking that. Like,
and like
literally
you have like you had same versions what they look like. That would be pretty cool actually. But you could have the Super Friends, like Superman from Super Friends. Like, you could just bring any character in. That's kind of, I think that'd be pretty cool there. Like Wonder Woman from the JL animated series would be a choice for me too. So,
all right.
Yeah, it's hard too though when you're doing that, because obviously the number one, if you would ever do any of those shows, would be Kevin Conroy's Batman, and that doesn't exist anymore. Like for like future, so it's like, hey, that's why I went with this instead of doing like, let's do another Justice League or let's do another Batman animated, because you're not touching those properties and redoing them that. So why not do it where you're picking out a character, have George Newbern Superman once, and have like just keep bringing them like that. So yeah, that was my idea for that.
Very nice.
Okay. Let's take our first ad break, Joe, before we jump into number 3. Listeners, we're an ad support network. We're going to pick the ads or volume. We're going to do a quick 3 count to adjust your volume, and we'll be right back in 3, 2, 1. And we're back. Okay, Joe, what's your number 3?
All right, so my number 3, this one is a little different. It's Armageddon 2001. Now, obviously, it won't have to be 2001. The issues themselves came out in 1991. These were the 1991 annuals for the comics, and they were a specific story that was this created Wave Rider, the character of Wave Rider, who he became he was a time traveler. He could go through different, like, trying to...
Sounds a little Adam Strangey.
Sort of. But Wave Rider is one of those characters that I've always liked. And this is his first appearance. Another character that comes in play here is a character called Monarch. And the reason why Wave Rider is created is it's in the future of 2001, from 1991. And that future is kind of a dystopia. And so Wave Rider, Matthew Rider, is sent back to 91, and he's trying to figure out which hero betrayed the other heroes to become Monarch.
Oh.
And so he is going through every single annual, touching he's got the power to figure out by seeing the hero's future.
Let me guess, he's the one that does it.
No.
Okay.
Nope. Well, so I'll get into that in my number 1.
Ooh.
Yeah, right. That's the other thing with Wave Rider. Matthew Rider it's because he's out of time, it becomes a whole thing. It's a whole Doctor Who thing. But yeah, so Armageddon 2001. I like the character of Monarch. Monarch became a really fascination of mine for a while. It's the whole plot was supposed to be Captain Atom was going to be the Monarch, but and this was pre-internet, and apparently the fans figured out who it was going to be, and the writers had to quickly change it to be Hawk from Hawk and Dove. And that completely, didn't make any sense at all. And so come, when was it? Cataclysm? No. I think Countdown. It basically got fixed to where Captain Atom did become Monarch in like New 52 or something like that. But like eventually he became the Monarch. A whole different thing. Anyway, Wave Rider gets introduced. Armageddon here. We could set it into a future, like say, I don't know. Well, considering what we have now, you could say it in like 5 years. But say in like a dystopia of 2045 or something. So 20 years from now. And then like, yeah, it's a dystopian world and the character gets sent back to nowadays and he's got to figure out which superhero betrays all the other superheroes to become the evil dictator of that time.
Check that one out.
It's so the problem is that it's all the annuals. It's not collected in anything.
Okay.
And when I tell you, it took me a long time to find every single annual. It took me a long time to find every single annual because this was again pre-internet, pre-eBay, pre-everything. I was going to like little cons and finding it.
Oh,
I think I found Hawk World was the last one I had to find, and I found that at like a motel convention.
Oh, nice.
In like 2000. So yeah, dude.
Oh.
It was that was the old days of like
that was the
actually
old
going
ways.
out and searching. It was great.
We'll use the old ways.
Yeah, exactly. What's your number 3?
My number 3 is the Green Arrow and Green Lantern animated movie. More specifically, kind of based on the Denny O'Neil and Neil Adams run.
Right.
I'd love to see that, and kind of a retro style animated, like animation style for that one would be pretty cool. And I think that's something that you could definitely do. You could do a small story, or you could do a bigger story, but just base it off those two and that relationship.
Yeah.
And either show how they start out or show a actual like villain that they have to go up against, like already being partners. Either or, I'd be like along for the ride anytime.
That's what you could definitely have them like maybe even start out as partners, like they've had a relationship for a while. And I mean, people know who Green Lantern is. People know who Green Arrow is. Like at this point in time,
one of those quick 3 to 5 minute like things at the start of it, being like, "Hey, here's how we got together."
Something, yeah, exactly.
Montage, like
exactly.
But yeah, that's one that I would like to see.
So.
What about yourself, Joe? Number 2?
Yeah, my number 2. Speaking of Green Lantern,
one
Green
that
Lantern,
I was going to use too, but I didn't.
Emerald Twilight / New Dawn. So it's basically the end of Hal Jordan, beginning of Kyle Rayner. We've had the death of Superman, and so that ties into Emerald Twilight because in the Death of Superman comic, Mongol or Cyborg Superman really destroys Coast City, which sends Hal spiraling into basically craziness, to where he goes and he kills majority, if not all. Actually, no, he kills. I gotta use the air quotes because they all come back. The whole Green Lantern Corps, to the point where only Parallax possesses him, and then he dies. Air quotes dies, and then Kyle gets given the ring, and he becomes the next Green Lantern.
Essentially, the Beware My Power story, but John Stewart subbed in for Kyle Rayner.
Kind of. I mean, again, John Stewart.
Some differences. But
yeah. I mean, the fact that John is not in that story at all is interesting. Like, and that's the other thing. When I growing up reading comics, yes, I knew John Stewart was in the show, but I never understood why he wasn't in that comic. I didn't know about John Stewart in the comics at all.
And especially must have been the trip from seeing Superman the animated series where Kyle showed up in that, and then seeing John in Justice League being like,
well, so I had seen, I think I'd seen the Justice League show before I actually watched the Superman. Like, I watched the Superman show here and there.
Yeah, but not all of the whole thing. Yeah,
correct. So I saw the Justice League show start to finish, and I'm like, okay, cool. Like, I know John Stewart. John Stewart's great, but Hal was my first Green Lantern because of the Death of Superman storyline.
Never forget you first, Joe.
Exactly. And then that rolls right into Kyle technically being my second because of it going right into
Comics.
the comics, and then it goes into John, and then from there, like I knew that guy was a Green Lantern at some point, but not really like understanding because at that point he had the yellow ring. And
Yeah.
I'm just like okay, whatever. So
Fuck you, Kyle.
yeah. Anyway,
Screw you, Kyle. My number 2, I would like to do justice to this
why?
injustice
It was such a great movie.
I'd like to put the injustice in animation, but in a series, so that you could actually do it properly and kind of follow the comics instead of just making decisions like killing the Flash right when he's one of those ones that actually realizes what they're doing and turns good in Injustice, and instead he dies in 5 seconds in the film.
What?
And yeah, some of us, I would like to start it off with an episode or 2 before the events of Joker blowing up, nuking Metropolis. Like I would like before that, like just a couple to make you feel for Superman a bit more before he goes all dictator. Like that would be a way to go there, because it's quite jarring in that animated film. And yeah, that didn't do justice. I felt bad for Ed Boon and the Mortal Kombat animated people, because that's who did the film, and he was so hyped, and I didn't even tweet about it much after it came out. Can't blame.
Yeah, I've noticed that a lot about a lot of these animated movies. They're like, it's like they have to tweet out all this stuff, and then as soon as it's out, well, contract's done. I don't have to say shit.
Even the Mortal Kombat animated stuff, though, they know why people are coming to Mortal Kombat to see the crazy fatalities and like badass stuff like that, like just like the games. Like that's not what the Injustice you're coming for the comic that you read. Sorry. So yeah, just I really didn't like that, so I would like to rewrite that and actually get a good one there.
Yeah, that's fair.
So Joe,
I never really did say if these are shows or TV. I mean, like the Emerald Twilight would be a movie, I think.
Oh yeah,
Armageddon could be a good show. The rest would be movies.
Or even like you have a 4-part movie, like you have a couple parts, like Superman.
See, I don't know, because when you do multi-part movies, that's when you run into the issues. Look at Crisis.
No, well, I'm just saying, like Death and Return of Superman was one story that needed to be broken up into 2 parts to tell it properly. Like, remember Superman Doomsday?
Oh yeah, no, you're right. Superman Doomsday
70 minutes
wasn't great.
You didn't have enough time to tell.
But that was their first foray into the animation scene. They got better over time.
Oh yeah,
and yes,
the
Death and Return of Superman movies were great because they're like. It's a better story.
And there's an actual thing that has both of them together.
Yes.
That's what I'm trying to say.
Like, I actually got both those.
If we had something where it's just one movie and you just hit play and you watch it full through, there's no issues. Like it's like a full contained story. So if you could do something like that, I
remember going to see that. Like I saw that in theaters, both back to back.
Yeah,
because they had.
We didn't have it here.
Yeah, they were showing the other one in theaters and like, oh, we'll like premiering it in theaters. And they showed the first one just before. I'm like, hell yeah, could do that. That's great. Anyway, so yeah. So my last one is Zero Hour.
Nice.
And that one I think would be, you could make it into to get completely, probably do it as a series. Or just a show.
Maybe?
As a show. Maybe, yeah, mini-series more than likely. But you don't need to get it completely, because there's definitely a lot of stuff in there that's just kind of like whatever. But it's a good. I like it because it brings in a lot of old things. Like you get Batgirl, a Barbara Gordon Batgirl, who's not crippled, like she's not Oracle anymore, and she hadn't been shot by Joker. You get, and she's just like she has no idea what's going on. You get a old Alfred from like the 40s, and basically it's the story was made to try and correct.
Oh, so what you said earlier about Armageddon 2001, this is like Armageddon 2001 is like a pre what happens
exactly.
Here.
So what happens? So when you brought up Wave Rider being Monarch, that actually happens in this one, At
Okay.
one point, a different Wave Rider from a different timeline ends up being the Monarch in this one,
Okay.
or Extent. I can't remember exactly which one it was. It's a whole different thing. Um, but yeah, but what also came about this is that Parallax was behind it all. Hal Jordan Parallax, and it was him just trying to save people, save the world, and he's bringing back old timelines and trying to reassess and make everything work. One of the things in here is they specifically were trying to fix, like, Crisis on Infinite Earths was supposed to converge everything and make everything, like all of the multiple storylines, into one thing, and that worked for a while. But then you had the multiple, like, Hawkman origins that no one really knew where to go with. They played on that in Zero Hour, and they tried from that point going forward with that and be like, all right, so now this is the definitive Hawkman origin. So he's from I was gonna say Themyscira, but that's not right. Thanagar. You had that, and then you had, like, the Hawk Girl and Hawkwoman and all that stuff. You also had, I'm trying to think what else they had, but, like, they had a bunch of other things going on in there. Like, I remember Alpha Centauri coming in. I've got so I know DC has put out their event books, and I've got both of them over there collected, which is nice.
Some of these covers look fantastic
Some
for
of them are
Zero.
cool.
Yeah.
But and then it's one of those things where Zero Hour is one of those that I really enjoyed. I remember Guy at this time. He is Warrior, Guy Gardner's Warrior, and he was very adamant about saving the timelines that were going to be erased. So, like, Barbara Gordon, who was
Not shot.
here, who wasn't shot, like, he was trying to save her. I think, if I remember correctly, was it Green Lantern or Green Arrow? I want to say Oliver was also in the same boat. Like, he was trying to protect these guys as well. Like, there was a bunch of different things going on here, and it's been a minute since I've read that story, but I do remember it being a good story. So yeah, Zero Hour. That's my number one.
And my number one, Joe, would be DCCW Justice League show, kind of like what I thought Legends of Tomorrow was going to be when they did that Comic-Con sneak peek, and it kind of seemed like that's what they were going to do, go on missions, and they fought a giant robot and Nazis. And
In episode, what, 1 or 2, and then it became...
no, that wasn't even an episode. That was just what they shot for Sizzle Reel at Comic-Con. No, Brent would slide in here and say the same thing, because none of that ended up in the show. So yeah, it was none of the new stuff they shot there. The old stuff did, but yeah, they made it seem like it was going to be Arrow and Flash. Now I guess they couldn't afford their number ones on the call sheet for that show, but that's what I would have liked. And I've been watching I watched the DCCW animated stuff for Animation Nation. I did Vixen, and then next week is Ray and the Freedom Fighters. I thought the animation style was awesome, and I really loved it. And if I'm going to go with Smallville, why wouldn't I go with DCCW? And this was back in the prime of DCCW.
Yeah,
like, you could even tell like there wasn't too much, and yeah, it was awesome.
It was just before season.
Supergirl was 8? In the Ray stuff as Overgirl. That's it. As the Earth X, and that's like prelude to Earth X. So yeah, that was one of my favorite crossovers. So yeah, shout out to that. That would be my choice. And let's take our maybe final ad break before we jump into the news. Listeners, we're at Ad Support Network. We don't pick the ads or volume. We're going to do a quick 3 can't do just your volume, and we'll be right back in 3, 2, 1. And we're back. Okay, Joe. We got a small amount of news, but let's get into it. There's a casting going around. People thought it was Wonder Woman first for Man of Tomorrow. So, uh, as announced last week, DC Studios is currently casting Brainiac, the lead villain of Man of Tomorrow. In addition, a new female role is being cast to join the film. Sources tell Nexus Point News that a new female hero is being cast for the film. She's described as being in her late 20s and having an edge to her. What's interesting is there's a height requirement for this character, and they're looking for taller actresses. In addition, the character is being described as being a warrior and having a strong physique. All details point to this character being Wonder Woman, a character that has been highly requested by fans to make her DCU debut. Other potential candidates for this mystery character could be Big Barda or Black Canary.
Crush. It's Crush. Lobo's daughter. Crush.
Then it said Wonder Woman's appearance could also set up her to appear in a solo film, which is currently being written by Anna Nogueira. James Gunn has stated that the film is being fast tracked. In addition to Paradise Lost is in development, but we haven't heard about it. Mm-hmm. And yeah, there's nothing else there that would say anything. But this person doesn't put out anything unless he I haven't seen him like rumor bait or anything.
Yeah, he's over the 80%.
Yeah,
positive rate.
He's the one that put out the stuff, but Mr. Miracle, Emerald, like the animated Jessica Cruz, he put all that stuff out before it came out.
Nice.
Yeah,
I wouldn't be mad if it was Wonder Woman. Like again, that was one.
My only thing is, I think she's big enough star now to be in her own film as her first appearance. But if you're doing this Universal line, I can see stuff like that being big pops in films and like just people being excited to see her film too. So I don't think it hurts her having her show up in this film as her first appearance.
I agree, except for like when you're trying to build hype. Like look at Supergirl. Like look how hype people are for that. And she was in Superman for all of 3 minutes.
But I will say stuff like Wonder Woman.
3 minutes. She was like a minute.
Wonder Woman in Justice League, the animated series, came out as one of the favorite characters, and she wasn't in anything before. She didn't have like appearance like Batman or the Flash and Superman.
Well, she had the whole series in the 70s, but yeah, you're right.
You know what I mean?
But yeah, she is a character that is known. Yeah. So she should be able to just be able to just pop out there and be on her own. She's had one successful movie, a second movie which I did enjoy. You did enjoy.
No, I enjoyed the first 5 minutes of it. I enjoyed the Wonder Woman competition, and that's when the enjoyment ended.
Oh, I thought you did enjoy that.
No, it was the dumpster fire of a movie. It was probably my least favorite DCEU film.
Okay.
Besides Justice League.
I still enjoy it. Don't get me wrong. It's a problematic movie. Very problematic movie.
It's not exactly what Wonder Woman does to people when they're free will. But it was there was some enjoyable stuff too.
Problematic.
But again, it was such a step down from the first one.
Correct. But and then I was hoping for a third one. Third one would have been
for her return to the island. That especially the end of Zack Snyder's Justice League, where she's staring out and she's banished, and
that's the other thing. Like you've got her in BVS, you've got her in her 2 solo movies, you got her in 2 basically Justice movies.
Showing up in Shazam.
Five appearances there. The minor appearance in Shazam, minor appearance in Flash.
Yeah.
So five major appearances, 2 minor appearances. She's Wonder Woman is a character that's been around. So her showing up in Superman, I'm not going to be angry at it, but you are correct. She could just come as her own movie and be fine.
But again, I'm right with you there. I don't think it would be any problem having her show up in Man of Tomorrow. Yeah. Unfortunately, bad news. Lanterns are set to premiere at the end of the summer now.
What's funny is I remember somebody posting about this a couple months back, and then nothing.
Yeah.
And just kind of went under the radar, and then no one said anything about it, and then, oh look, official news now.
Someone asked James Gunn about a trailer, and he's like, I don't do that stuff. That's HBO. Whenever they do that, they do it.
Yeah.
Another one here that Paramount, Skydance, Comcast, Universal, and Netflix have all sent their bids to buy Warner Brothers. Zaslav will review shortly. Paramount is a front runner, while Universal is trying to hurry and find financial backers. Netflix is trying to take over via stock. And this is from the New York Post. So we shall see.
Yeah, I don't. Who would you want?
I'm gonna be honest with you, Joe. I don't know. I don't really want them to start over the DC, like reboot the DCU. So kind of whoever would just keep going.
That's my biggest worry. Like, I'm right there with you. Like,
But
we've already had a reboot. We don't need to get another reboot. And I'm afraid if certain people in charge of certain things might be like, all right, bye bye, and start over with everything. So,
yeah, and I there wasn't much else here. There's just a picture from CCXP 25 highlighting their like just the movies and schedule, and Supergirl is there, line with Mortal Kombat.
yeah,
Uh,
yay.
and we might get a trailer there. DC's been known to drop trailers at that event, so maybe be on the lookout for your first Supergirl trailer then.
That'd be kind of fun.
I'm getting it sometime soon. Finally, Joe, we have our Smallville retro recaps, and it's absolutely a disaster.
It's because you don't call it a reboot, call it a crisis. Should DC.
DC.
You're not wrong.
Yeah.
Not wrong.
And our final thing is the Smallville retro recap. James Olsen Bond in Sleeper.
Woo!
What do you think about this, Joe? This is going to be a small conversation because
So I thought. Okay, so we're not gonna talk about that stuff because that was stupid. The stuff about Kara being back on Krypton in the past is cool.
Yeah, that's where
That's
the
really the
that's where it is.
good conversation is. Yep.
This was so unnecessary after coming off such a big episode. Oh, sorry, the Lex Veritas stuff was kind of okay as well. And that
Interesting.
kind of kept
Yeah,
a little bit of interest in me watching the episode, but no, I was like, I can't believe I just watched this.
Well, like I know that stuff because looking ahead, I think that comes into play in like 2 episodes.
Yeah. The note here is that they were supposed to end this season because there was a writer's strike and Lionel getting pushed out the window.
Oh.
But then they had to put more episodes in. And they knew Michael wasn't coming back either. So
Gotcha.
yeah, they were going to come back from the writer's strike. Like they had to, that was what they finished writing, but they hadn't had the ending done. So when the writer's strike was over, they got the other episodes done and filmed them.
Gotcha.
So,
that would make sense because I will say Michael looks a little heavier.
Yeah.
Okay.
He does. Yeah. So
nothing bad about that. Just
no.
No
different than Ben Affleck when he filmed that scene with Martian Manhunter. Like
correct.
Like, okay,
it definitely looks like there's definitely was some time between episodes. Like they had time off. I knew there was a writer's strike because this had the shorter season, but I forgot because it's been so long since this was going on. No, the episode itself made no sense. The stupid Jimmy stuff, like.
There's just no need of it, Joe. When you got like 3 episodes, you got 4 episodes left with Rosenbaum as Lex, and you're just going to write in an episode where we're going to follow the line, the exploits of Jimmy Olsen. Like that does not make any sense.
Again,
that was 22 episode, 23, 24 episode television back then.
Normally, this is only 20 seasons. 20 seasons, 20 episode season. There we go. So,
even the next one's pretty cool, like with Jor-El and stuff. We'll get into it. I can't wait.
Yeah, that'll be next week. That'll be the next time we talk. We'll
talk about it.
Yeah.
So, listeners, that wraps up our shorter episode here. It was still fun. HBK David, thanks for being in the chat. And we'll be back next week with more DC stuff. Until then, bye, everyone.
Bye, y'all.